Hello everyone, welcome to my video guide about the one and only Boneshatter Juggernaut. This is going to be a short guide. So, from the start, well, why pick this build? Well, if you like melee builds, in-your-face builds, or Giga Chat builds, like I do, Boneshatter has been the best melee skill in the game for I don't know how many leagues now, and it continues to be so, in my opinion. What's the most amazing thing about this build is that you can take it from the early days of league start all the way to Uber content and all the late game content that we have in Path of Exile. Myself personally, I've killed all the Ubers except Serum Exarch, and I believe that was basically a skill gap issue, not a build issue. With a little bit more skill, I could have killed him too. So let's start from the passive tree. You will have the link for the path of building inside the comments, not the description, because I cannot upload description URLs at the moment. So start from the ascendancy. Basically, I believe that Unstoppable is the best melee ascendancy in the game, because when you're doing late game content like juice maps or deep delve, like I'm a deep delver myself, basically you are constantly cursed, slowed, shielded, and this just makes you well unstoppable, as it says. Nothing can slow you or your action time. So your movement speed, attack speed, nothing gets slowed by anything. So you start by taking Untiring, so you can actually. So how does Boneshatter work? Well, basically every strike you apply a trauma stack to yourself, and it makes you deal more damage to nearby enemies, but it does damage to yourself as well. So firstly, we take Untiring, so we can sustain the Boneshatter stacks on ourselves. After that, we take the Unstoppable, and then our third lab we get the Undeniable. For how this works is basically you get attack speed from your accuracy, and you get accuracy from your strength. And the more strength, the more accuracy, the more attack speed. And the tankiest ascendancy point in the game, you take it last for juice content, Unbreakable. It makes your armor applies to elemental damage from hits, and it doubles your chest piece armor. Most people couple this with Divine Flesh Keystone that makes 50% of your elemental damage to be taken as chaos. I do not use this because, as you can see, I have 110,000 armor without bottles, and with bottles it's 150,000. This is more than enough for you to tank absolutely everything that exists. Okay, so you start from the basically Juggernaut starting point. You take the armor nodes, Heartwood Warrior, versatility. You take the protection node, the accuracy. Basically, you will see everything in the path of building. For our X Master, we take Rage on hit for more attack speed. We are, of course, using Precise Technique because we have a lot of accuracy from our Undeniable Notable from Ascendancy. As you know, this makes you deal 40% more attack damage if you have more accuracy than you have life, and that's easily achievable on the Juggernaut Ascendancy. Okay, let's do a quick dive through the games and supports. So basically I'm using Boneshatter of Complex Trauma. It's possible that you can deal more damage with regular Boneshatter, but it's, in my opinion, it's annoying to keep the stacks high, so you need to invest in skill duration and tree. In most cases you're going to use the increased duration support gem on your main 6 link, and I don't really like that. So what Complex Trauma does, it limits our maximum stacks to 10, but gives us more damage per stack. And I enjoy this playstyle much more, and it's more fun to me. And to be honest, I think having fun is still the most important thing about video games. So we are using Boneshatter of Complex Trauma, and we are using Rage support. Okay, this is my take on this build. Most people will use like melee physical damage or like Ruthless or Impale here. I just like Rage because I believe that attack speed is the most important offensive stat in melee build. That's why Rage and not something else. Also, we are using Awakened Brutality, we're using close combat, we're using fortify for damage and fortify buff, and we're using multi-strike. Again, most people don't use multi-strike, they use ruthless or something instead of this, but again, I don't. This is the single most attack speed you can get from any support gem in the game. Like 44 more melee attack speed and a bunch of damage on top. I just like this playstyle much more. We are using a Leap Slam with faster attacks, of course. We are using a Molten Shell for our guard, coupled with increased duration, or in 3.24 patch you can use automation instead of increased duration. So you can use the Molten Shell instead of you don't have to click it. So we are using Val Haste with increased duration, we are using custom and damage taken, and we are linking Poacher's Mark to it. So basically we constantly deal damage to ourselves, and in turn it casts Poacher's Mark to everyone around it. We don't have to manually cast it. We are using Unsensible Protector, of course, coupled with Maim support, Culling Strike for bosses, Blood Rage for attack speed and leech. We are using Defiance Banner for more armor, Enduring Cry, Determination, of course, Berserk to spend our rage, Pride and Determination. Pride and Herald of Purity, of course. Okay, so let's talk about the gear. Basically, you want as much armor as you can get for the Unbreakable to be more effective. So you get Titan gauntlets, Titan greaves, basically as much armor as you can get, and you need life, resist, and of course chaos resistant gear. The only mandatory unique I would say for this build is this one, Replica Hinekora's Sight, because, well, as you can see, it gives you over 1000 accuracy and 900 armor almost, and it gives you maximum to all elemental resistance. I think it's unbeatable for Juggernaut Ascendancy, in my opinion. Personally, I am anointing Acuity on it, as you can see. It's attack speed and more accuracy, and in turn more attack speed, but if you don't have enough mana reservation, you can like anoint, I don't know, Charisma or something on it. Yeah, so also because we are using, as you can see, a precise technique, we can do criticals, but this is our own take on critical strikes on this on the Boneshatter Juggernaut. You use the Magnate belt. As you can see, it gives you 10% chance to deal double damage while you have at least 200 strength, and 5% chance to do triple damage while you have at least 400 strength. So this is our own version of mini critical strike, yeah? And okay, for the weapon, I went with a Series Disfavor because this is way cheaper than extremely well crafted two-handed axes in the game, and what makes it amazing in my opinion is gives you of course a lot of attack speed, flat damage and maim and stuff like that, a little bit of blade, but since the patch 3.23, as you remember, the quality of games became a big deal. It gives you a lot of damage and utility, so if you have your main 6-link maximum qualities, as you can see, 20, everything, with a Series Disfavor, everything goes to 50 quality, and it gives you a lot of attack damage, like seriously, like a big chunk. And until you can get this or something even more expensive, you can use an axe like this. Basically, just a basic, well-rolled two-handed axe. You don't even have to have a 6-link. Just get some increased fizz, flat fizz, and attack speed on it. So, pros and cons of the build. Basically, pros, as I said, amazing starter, amazing for all the content in the game, great for delve, very tanky, so it's beginner friendly if you are not experienced enough yet in Path of Exile, and just a well-rounded, amazing build that dishes out a lot of damage and can take on all the content that exists in the game. Cons is, well, it's melee build, extremely close range, as you know, when you're fighting late game bosses like Maven and stuff, the windows where you can actually attack are very short, like 3, 4, 5 seconds, and you need to close the gap, and that spends also a lot of time, so damage uptime is not great in boss fights. But again, as I said, it's absolutely doable. And anyway, I would like to show you, depth 300 and something, 330 delve, so you can see the actual strength of the build and how tanky and crazy it actually is. I'm gonna do a Harbinger fight on 300 plus depth. I'm gonna reduce the sound a little bit. Okay, so I'm gonna show you what you're getting with this build. Also, if you are one of those guys who are thinking about trying Delve for the first time, this is one of the best Delvers currently. You can easily farm up to, like, I don't know, 1000 depth if you want to do that. You don't need to do that to get a lot of currency. Okay. As you can see, easily tanking everything, doing insane amounts of damage. And remember I told you about multi-strike and rage support? Well, now you see why I use them. But look at this attack speed, it's just insane. Insane amounts of attack speed with rage and multi-strike. You sustain through everything. Actually, over 300 depth Harbingers are kinda crazy, if I'm being honest. As you can see. Just like insane damage, insane attack speed, and sustain. That's amazing build all around. That's it. Seems you got a level 85 flask. Well, basically, guys, that was it. This is my take on the one and only bonezone Juggernaut. So if you find this video helpful, or if you liked it, leave a like. I would appreciate it. If not, then don't. Anyway, I repeat again, the path of building link will be in the comments. Thank you guys for watching. Have fun. Goodbye.